Lion.
Reminisce about this phenomenal series that we are here tonight to celebrate. Playing live to you against the backdrop of a montage which captures just a few small highlights of the work that the production team have accomplished with many of our beloved cast from all seasons. Starting the journey from season 1 and then taking us through the decades of the new Elizabethan age, finishing on the cusp of our final season. That montage was set to 3 pieces of music from the series. Duck Shoot, composed by Rupert Gregson-Williams. Gunpowder, composed by Martin Phipps, which, by the way, was... Martin, I hope you're here. Congratulations. Wonderful. That piece was never orchestrated for a live performance as it was created during COVID, so that has been done especially for you all in this room this evening. And of course the main theme by Mr. Hans Zimmer. It feels like, yeah, please, a round of applause for this wonderful music. It has to be, I think, the most fitting way to take us up to what we are all about to enjoy this evening. But just before we do that, we need to clear a little bit of space because we've got a few guests that are going to come on stage just to talk about a few things about this thing you're about to witness tonight. So we'll take a few minutes while we clear some space, but first let's raise the roof one more time and say a huge thank you to our wonderful musicians and after you, sir. We'll be back shortly, just in a few minutes, so don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, no, please, on you go, thank you. We would ask you kindly not to leave the Royal Festival Hall and spoil that moment for any fellow Crown fans who have not had the privilege of being in this room with you all this evening. So, before we have that honour of being amongst the very first people to see the conclusion of The Crown, allow me to bring a few people on stage to talk about that journey. First up, please welcome Chief Content Officer at Netflix, Bella Vajari.
Good evening, and I'd like to welcome all of you to the global finale of The Crown. Woo! Woo! And sad at the same time. I'm so excited for all of you and everybody in the world to see the conclusion of this final epic season of a groundbreaking show that will forever leave a mark on the television landscape. It has been an incredible journey, 6 season commitment with a rotating cast, the aspirations for which were unprecedented. And Peter and team, you over-delivered. Every scene in every episode of every season has incredible attention to detail. Thoughtful, poignant, real, emotional, reflective, and powerful. Each season also beautifully explored a larger theme, and Peter has managed to, I'm going to say seemingly, effortlessly, structure the story in such a surprising way that it would just kind of sneak up on you and charm you. There are thousands of people, many in this room, who have brought The Crown to life for over the past 10 years. More than 2,500 crew and over 200 principal cast members. So many, in fact, that it would be impossible to thank everybody, but I do want to give you a very huge, heartfelt thank you to everyone who worked on this show.
I'd like to start with a group of people who, without their dedication, their imagination, their craft, this would not be possible. Please put your hands together for Mr. Peter Morgan, Mr. Stephen Daldry, Mr. Andy Harris, and Suzanne Matthews. Peter.
Yes.
This was such an enormous commitment all those years ago. Here we are 6 seasons later. How does it feel now? now you're at the end of that journey?
Mixed emotions. I mean, very proud. This is a fantastic send-off. Very grateful. Very, a little bit emotional, and but excited for you all to get to see it, and excited to have a nice holiday at Christmas.
Stephen, you have this wonderful experience of bookending this show, you know, being there right at the start, even before filming started, that you get the chance to make this final chapter, deliver this final chapter, film those final scenes. What was that like for you?
I think, like Edith said, I'm incredibly grateful to be here. And this has been a journey for 10 years, and it's been a journey we've been on with an incredible crew, incredible writers, incredible producers, and incredible cast. And maybe the best love should be for a cast who served us so well. And it's so moving because this. We just met earlier that Julian, who played Prince Charles in episode 2, all those years ago, is now totally grown up, and it's been such a joy to be a part of people's lives for so long. And as we go into this farewell moment, it's such a, to quote you, Pete, it's like a great Queen, you know, it's, we now will sleep, dearie, sleep. We're very happy for you to see this episode.
You mentioned the cruise, yeah, around the Andy, I've been lucky enough to speak to some of your craftsmen and women, you know, throughout this journey, who are just an extraordinary bunch of people, and we have so many of them in this room tonight, and you and Susanna have led those teams, really. As we've gathered here today, what would you like to say to those people who have stayed with you, a lot of them, for the entire journey of this show?
Well, it's been amazing, hasn't it? I mean, Susanna and I have battled for 10 years trying to keep the whole thing on the road. From the minute Netflix greeted us with such excitement and enthusiasm all that years ago when Peter, Stephen and I were in LA. So a big thank you to Netflix for doing that. And a big thank you, of course, just make a moment to say thank you to Sony for supporting the show on the road, and to all my team at Left Bank, to Grace, Hilary and Charlie, who have been absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe it. It's 60 episodes and 10 years. It is extraordinary, and I feel very emotional standing here. And thank you all for coming. I'd like to say, as one of the producers, I'm only one producer of some others who are here tonight. And I'd like to say thank you to Martin Harrison, Andy Stebbing, Eve, and not least Michael Casey and my incredible and my dear colleague Una. And what an extraordinary, I think you set such a beautiful tone for the making of this show in every detail. Everyone brought their best work to this show over 10 years. I'm so proud to be one of them. The directors, the cast, just extraordinary. And I would really like to say thank you to Peter Morgan. I've watched over 10 years, every single day, how hard he works. And every one of those 60 episodes is beautifully crafted and beautifully felt. I think your work is extraordinary, and your dedication.
Thank you, ladies and gents. If I could ask you just to shimmy over that way slightly, that would be wonderful, because 6 is cast to the stage. Please raise the World Festival roof for Imelda Staunton, Your Majesty. I had to, sorry. How does it feel to be closing out this chapter, Imelda?
Well, it feels very lucky that we are we get to do the party and they've done all the work. So it's very special, and it's been wonderful to be part of television that has been so unique, to tell us one story about a family with 3 different casts. Never been done before. I wonder if it will ever be done again. So to be part of that has been absolutely extraordinary.
Thank you for being here. And Jonathan, it's great to have you here. Thank you. One of the amazing things, the many brilliant things that these wonderful people provide you with are these great locations all over the country, all over the world to inhabit, to kind of bring these characters to life. Have you got fond memories of being in some of those places?
Locations, yeah. You take jobs for locations. I took James Bond in order to travel the world. I went to St. Albans. No, the wonderful thing about being in show business is you get to see the things ordinary people don't get to see. You go backstage in these extraordinary buildings. I suppose the most impressive, well, actually, I went to Windsor Castle and was dubbed by Princess Anne. And I came away thinking that our Windsor Castle was much nicer than theirs. The most extraordinary one was York Minster, where we filmed the final scenes, which I think you're about to see. It was incredibly moving. And I likened York Minster to the Crown, beautifully constructed, held up by flying buttresses. Sorry, Suzanne. And all that kind of stuff. I could want to get a bit pretentious after this, as I told you. And the other thing was going to Moscow, in Bradford, where Martin Childs and his team built the most extraordinary set, and I think that's the... So really the locations were mostly came down to Martin Childs and his team. That was the best. Anyway, thank you very much for coming tonight.
Leslie. We, sadly, we won't see Princess Margaret on the screen.
Don't
tonight.
tell everybody. The spoiler.
But she has
What
been...
happens to her?
I'll tell you later. I'll tell you later. She has been one of the most beloved characters since Vanessa Kirby originated the role in season 1. How has it been for you closing out her story as part of this show?
Well, it's been rather wonderful because I love to play women in the complex stages of their life. Not that life isn't always complex, but you know, we know what she was like through fact and the previous seasons of The Crown. We know that she was wonderful and naughty and rude and funny and just one of, you know, the rebel of the family. So it's quite nice to have all of those layers and then have to play this woman who was so fabulous in her declining years. And that's, because how do you deal with that? How do you deal with not being quite so fabulous anymore? So it was interesting and fascinating to play, and it's been a highlight.
Thank you. Dominic and Olivia. You both get the happily ever after in this final episode. I wanted to ask what it was like filming those wedding scenes and what you think that meant to the characters.
We had a full orchestra, we had a full choir, we had 400 extras bowing to us, and we had 36 ornamental cherry trees in York Minster. It was amazing, amazing. I don't know what it meant to, well, I do know what it must have meant to my character. It was a day he'd wanted for decades, in that way. It was wonderful for me. And we had their orchestra, actually, wasn't it? It was your orchestra.
Yeah, I had a wonderful wedding day, the happiest day of my life, above Bella Pastor on Shaftesbury Avenue. My husband's here somewhere, thank you, Guy. But I have to say, the getting married in York Minster to Dominic was a very, very close second.
going to cry.
Thank you.
Have you had a second to reflect on the experience that you had taking on this iconic story?
Yes, I have had a few seconds. It's been a profound privilege, an enormous privilege to play this character and to be trusted with her. So thank you to you, Rebecca. And it has taught me so much as a human being, and it has taught me so much as an actor, which is sort of the double joy of this job is the challenge is so enormous that you really learn how to do your craft while you make this show. And it's just making season 6 in particular, I guess, because I got so much time with this remarkable human being. It's just been really, I mean, I'm just so proud to be a part of this cast and this show. And,
We'll just belong to Celine as well, if that's okay. Can we pass the mics along a bit? That'd be great.
Can you say something?
Khalid, Celine, thank you both for being here. Congratulations. Peter, Peter gave you the opportunity to imagine how this story might have been for the Fayeds. How was that experience for you both?
I mean, extraordinary. You know, one of the things that I will forever be grateful to Lisa and everyone for is that finally the Fayeds have been given space in this story. And there was a choice. He could, you know, Dodie could have been like he has been on supermarket shelves, that figure in the shadow in the background that no one knows anything about. Or he could have been a human being. And one of the things that gives me immense pride is that for the first time in 26 years, he gets to be known, hopefully loved, and when he dies, mourned. For the first time in 26 years. And I can tell you, with the world as it is right now, what that means to me and to my people.
Celine, congratulations. It's so great you're here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's a big privilege for me to be here. This is the most beautiful gift, yes. Forgot it, yes. The most beautiful gift that I have had in my life, to be here, to be part of this amazing series, and to be part of this family, Crown family and the Netflix family. I'm so lucky, really, I'm so lucky. So I have to thank you, everybody. I can't say everybody by his name because it takes 3 hours. We don't have time to do all that. So thank you all. I love you all, really.
Thank you, Celine. Our young royals, ladies and gentlemen, Ed, Meg, and Luther, great to have you here. So listen, welcome guys. This is all quite new for you. Your debut roles, your first premiere, is it? How's the whole experience been then, Ed?
Yeah, I mean, wow. Yeah, overwhelming. But I mean, you get to stand next to incredible people and everyone does it with such beauty and elegance, you just learn from it. And yeah, I mean, that was kind of the whole experience, really, just learning how these titans do it and just try and do your best, really. But yeah, it was incredible, amazing.
Meg, have you got a memory from this experience from filming? Anything that pops to mind of being the most memorable moment?
I mean, every day is so memorable. I feel like there's always so many moments, you know, from first audition to finally getting the yes, and then rehearsals, and then filming. I could go on. Wow. but I mean every part, and it's really the people as well that I think that I'll take away the most, like just being amongst such wonderful, wonderful company and such a beautiful show. It's very surreal, and I'm constantly like stifling my tears because it's a pretty great.
Oh, great to have you here. And Luther, what was Luther, what was most important for you in terms of bringing to this character?
I think a sense of brotherhood. I think that was what was most important. Exploring a relationship that I guess everyone could relate to. And now I have brothers, and there's there can be a lot of tension and jealousy between brothers, but there's also love. And so I suppose something like that.
Sounds good. Now the audience rooms are a mainstay for the Crown. She got through a lot of Prime Ministers. You are our final Prime Minister. How did you find depicting these kind of private conversations with the Queen?
It was great. It was fantastic to get to act with Imelda. I'm just stuck with an image of Princess Anne doing Jonathan's dubbing, which is a great picture. I wonder if she would do mine. I would sound a lot better. It's an honour to play these roles, and we're the abstract and brief chronicles of the time. So keep it brief. That's all I have to say, really.
Thank you, Bertie.
Edith, can I just say one thing? Of course you can't never do this, but I just want to say that the crew on this show are the most remarkable human beings. And we love them, as they are, wigless, cameraless, silent, setless, all of it without them. And I don't know how...
Take your applause! Thank you so much. It has been such an honour to be here tonight with you all. A polite reminder, please not to film, record or leave here and spoil anything for the wonderful fans that this series has garnered over the years. The final episode of The Crown. Sleep, Dearie, sleep. Enjoy, ladies and gentlemen.